I'll tell you what, dude, you can't just beat the German stuff for this level of quality. It's the true story, isn't it?
Well, those are some good looking specs you got there, Rex.
Yeah, they're built like a tank too, I'll tell you what. So I got these in the box and I was pleasantly surprised to see how heavy they were.
That's...
And
those aren't the binoculars you get at Walmart, are they?
No. They are not the binoculars you get at Walmart. This is a real deal. This is military contract stuff, I believe, made by Jena, and it's labeled here the Doctor 7x40B. Pretty heavy duty, man. I took this out and looked at the moon when I got them, and I was like, I mean, I looked through telescopes and stuff, like big telescopes, that these were better than that. And they're only 7 power. It's just the glass quality. You get a crisp, clear image, you know. And the color is amazing too. That's the other thing. It's actually more color. It's like a more beautiful, colorful image to look through these than look with your eyeballs. You know what I mean?
The BGA 7x40 and the BGA 10x42 binoculars are roof prism design, built to strict military specifications. These guys were originally developed during the Cold War era by Carl Zeiss-Jena as the official military binoculars of the East German troops. They're fully rubber armored. They retain a lot of the military style configuration. They're very, very robust, yet pretty compact and pretty comfortable to carry and hold. They focus individually, and once sharp focus is achieved, they will be focused from about 50 yards to infinity. You ain't got to screw around with the focus after that. Now, these things offer a really, really noticeably good eye relief and a very nice panoramic field of view due to this revolutionary 5-lens element eyepiece design they got going on. These might be some of the best binoculars ever built, and these are actually still manufactured at the original Carl Zeiss-Jena facility in Eisfeld, Germany.
Oh gosh.
All those new clips you're cutting up and putting on the YouTube, man, pretty awesome.
Which ones? Oh, the little
podcast
portions of the show? Yeah, dude.
These are freaking cool. I've only looked through like one other pair of binoculars, but it did not look like this.
So like if you had to put that into English, how would you quantify the difference?
I would say, I mean, 100 times better. It's night and day. Like the other pair I looked through, I couldn't even get it into focus. And these, I just put them up to my face and they're already there.
So many of you guys might be surprised to learn this, but I do have the ability to break things, especially things that are easily broken. I've never really had a pair of binoculars that was worth a hoot in terms of not being destroyed when they get sat on in a truck or thrown on the floor or kicked around. I usually use my equipment, even my instrumentation, maybe in a little more harsh fashion than most folks do. So I've had a lot of problems with binoculars breaking. A lot of the sporting binoculars on the market that I've grown up with seem to work pretty good, but they couldn't really take that fair share of abuse. And so that kind of drove me to look at some of the military binocular designs. If you look at the M22 Steiners, they're pretty heavy duty. They're good compact binoculars and you can throw them around. I've always wanted a pair of Zeiss quality binoculars. It's amazing how much you can see with even low magnification if you're using true tier 1 glass. And I really do like German glass. I think they do an amazing job. This particular set of binoculars I'm going to show you here real quick is it's new on the market and it's a limited production run that's actually made in Germany at the old original Carl Zeiss-Jena plant in Eisfeld. And it's using kind of the latest improved optical glass and coating technologies. Many of you guys are probably familiar with the reputation of Carl Zeiss and the various kinds of optics that the Zeiss is known for producing. They really generally live up to their expectation, especially when you get the actual Zeiss stuff that's made in Germany. So let's take a look at the set of binoculars here. This is the EDF 7x40. to 7 power magnification on this particular one. There's a very similar model to this, which is a 10 power by 42, and the size is not that much bigger, actually. They're very similar in an external appearance, almost identical, but they do have a little more magnification. I do like a 7 power binocular myself for scanning the terrain. You get a little bit wider field of view that way. 10 power binoculars would be great for directing fire and for other applications that would require a little more magnification. They're both spectacular binoculars, actually. You can look at the features of this set of binoculars, and they're really quite exceptional, actually. If you look at these things, they have a compact roof prism design. Now, if you're more familiar with the Poro prism design, that's kind of a Z-shaped configuration as far as how it inverts the image, turns it right side up. And they require a design that's kind of wide, where your objective lenses are going to be spaced apart farther than your eyeballs. And so you get kind of a big, awkward binocular. One of the advantages of a roof prism design is that you can create an instrument that's narrower and quite a bit more compact than Poro prisms. One of the challenges to roof prism binoculars is that they have to be really constructed with incredible quality in order to pull it off. Poro prisms are pretty easy to build just by the inherent the design characteristics, but the roof prisms are a little trickier. So if you're going to get a set of compact binoculars that's going to be worth anything, you're going to have to spend a bit more money on them. It's going to require tighter tolerances for the alignment of their optical elements, collimation they call it. This adds kind of to the expense, since the design requires them to use fixed elements that need to be set at a super high degree of collimation at the factory. So when you're looking at these compact binoculars, you really should look at some of these higher quality ones. They're going to give you the performance level that is actually pretty good, especially when you compare them to some of the other sporting grade binoculars that I'm more familiar with. I mean, I grew up with a lot of different kinds of binoculars, and I broke almost all of them. That's one of the inherent problems with some of the bigger designs. Seems like I've broken most of the other binoculars I've had, so I like to have a set of binoculars that's pretty stout. These are actually built pretty heavy duty. This is kind of a military grade binocular. A lot of these did have the reticles in them. This specific set I got here from Iora Valdata does not have a reticle, so this is more configured just for standard, binocular use, sporting applications, whatever. The reticle wouldn't really be applicable to directing precision rifle fire anyways, because it's more of a tactical binocular used for calling in fire. Maybe if you're directing field artillery, something like that, it's going to be on the order of tens of mils. Is all you're going to be able to discern with the binocular reticles that are usually out there. So a reticle in a binocular isn't like super handy, especially if you compare it to a rifle reticle or a spotting scope reticle, where you have more magnification so you can discern the increments in smaller degrees. But if you look at these things, they are pretty sweet. It's hard to explain, and you can't really capture it on camera, unfortunately, just by looking through one side of the binocular with the camera. When you get these things up to your face, you just simply focus them by turning the left eyepiece, and then once they're in focus for your eyes, man, they are like dead set, and they're awesome. Very, very surprising when I actually got these out of the box. I was skeptical. I thought, some of these things, like, they get talked up pretty good, but it's hard to explain. It's hard to put into words, but the color is so incredibly warm, and you have very, very good color rendition, which means that all your different wavelengths of light are being properly bent due to the EDF glass. And that's just basically of your 3 basic color wavelengths. And if all of them are exactly in the same focal point, it's going to give you that super crisp image. It's not going to distort the colors. One of the peripheral effects that happens there. But really, we don't care about color. We just want it to be nice and clear and sharp. So that's really what we're talking about here. And when you look through these things, you're looking through actual European quality Zeiss binoculars here. And these things are pretty neat. The camera only really shows 1/10 the quality that these things have. You lose so much the quality just from the camera, So it's hard to. I did film through them just so you can see kind of what a guy sees, but and it also it just does not do it justice. But when you put these things up to your face, especially in low light, like when it's dusk time, and I was looking at the moon with these things for astronomy type stuff. I like looking at the moon, and Wow, it's just amazing with a 7-power binocular. I mean, just you can really, really get a clear picture looking down the street, even with just a tiny bit of light. You can read license plates that you can't see with the naked eye. The binocular actually amplifies the light considerably, so it really, really does brighten up the nighttime with these things. These would be great for any kind of applications where you require something that has really good light gathering, where you really actually want to be able to see whatever you're looking at better. And that's not always the case with some of the binoculars I grew up with, especially some of the cheaper stuff. So if you guys are, you've spent a lot of money before on regular sporting binoculars and you just haven't quite been satisfied and you're now in the market for something, you want to get something pretty classy, this is definitely a pretty good value, worth taking a look at. It's made by one of the most reputable optics manufacturers on earth, if not the most reputable. So take a look at them. They're a little bit stout, 40 millimeter objective diameter on this particular set on the 7 powers, just a tiny bit bigger on the 10 powers. They got a geometrical luminosity of 32.65, twilight capacity index of 16.7 for all of you optical junkies out there. And of course, they're a little heavy, which is good. I like that. That means you actually got good quality glass. Good quality glass is heavier, guys. 27.85 ounces, which is not unbearable. I do like heavy binoculars. That's the point of what I'm ranting about here. So check these out, guys. If you see a set of these sitting in the store or something, you got to check them out. If not, you won't be disappointed. I'm a snob when it comes to glass, and when I open up the box of these things, this is not your run-of-the-mill set of binoculars that I'm used to growing up with. And I got to tell you, these Jenas are incredibly bright. So even compared to other decent quality binoculars, these things are pulling ahead of the pack. So definitely check it out. If you're looking for them, one of the major importers of these things at the moment that actually has them in stock is IOR Valdata, and that's www.valdata.com. Call him up. Maybe if you can talk to Val, he can explain if you have any questions, some more of the details for you on the advantages of this particular model or maybe other configurations that he has offered. He always gets neat stuff in from Europe. So if you're looking for European glass, some of the stuff that's hard to find over here, that's where I like to go. Check it out, guys, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
But she gets me, disassembles my leg. So I went to the doctor and he gave me a leg. Now she waits, some of us are dreaming of pain. Hope that she kills instead of leaving with me. Though she's a Eisfeld, she parts your body from your soul. Eisfeld, leave a big smoking hole.